Michael Cobble, WBRZ TV in Baton Rouge. Jay, going with Ty, you've talked all year about he's a winner, et cetera, but obviously the resiliency that he has to limit it, you talked about that as well. Just his performance tonight, what does it mean to you to see it?
Yeah, it's coaching, and what I mean by that is, we need to have a reason to be there. And when you have a guy that's as talented as that, sometimes you just have to get them to the point they understand what they need to do to be successful, give them a path to execute that, and then get them believing in themselves. And that's really all we've tried to do, over 2 years. And, I mentioned he finished the season really strong last year. He was very unselfish at the beginning of this thing. The first 2 weeks of the season, we needed him in the bullpen until we kind of figured out who we were going to be. He did that, helped us get off to a good start there. And, like I said, he's had a terrific season, and nothing better than that tonight. But we're not sitting here in this position without Ty Floyd. I feel like he's one of the most underrated, underappreciated, players in college baseball this year.
Okay, he beat you too, Wilson.
You said there was a specific turning point for you in the eighth inning to send him back out there. What went into that decision?
We had a spot where we thought we would go to Riley, and it was kind of, we had Guidry down there warming up. I felt like we may get into a lengthy game just with, Neely throwing the ball as well as he was. Those were the two guys we were going to use and go to. And so it was a little bit of a tricky spot. So for him to get two more hitters was a big deal. And then there was no way with the way he pitched to Curlin and Langford, it was Caglione was going to be his, and he deserved to finish that inning. And I'm really glad he did. Made some great pitches, and then allowed us to turn the ball over to Riley. I think, striking out the side with those three hitters right there, that's legit. That's pitching at the highest level, especially when he'd emptied the tank to put us in the position he did for the first 7 innings.
Leo.
Second game here, you've won in extra innings. I just wonder what goes into building that resiliency offensively, especially when things weren't seemingly going y'all's way at the beginning of the night.
Yeah, I think I don't think we look at the game the same way people on the outside of the fence look at the game. I think we're facing a team that's won 53 games this year. We're facing a pitcher, and that's all we've faced here with our bracket. It's got to be one of the best pitching brackets in College World Series history. We just don't get discouraged. We set the table in I believe it was the second or the third, and Tommy hits the line drive, and then Sproat, made some pitches. I think that was more him than us. I didn't think anybody thought anything of leaving guys on base or any of those types of things. And we got good hitters, and part of what good hitters do is they hit mistakes. And Tommy was in a 2-strike count right there. Fisher left the ball up, and he put a great swing on it. Neely, I don't even know if it was that bad a pitch. I haven't seen Cade's home run, but he was in position to hit on time. He stayed short. He let the pitcher supply the power and put a great swing on it. So I think we're doing what we do. And, in that last inning before he hit the home run, we wanted to get kind of settled back down again. And, if somebody's going to hit a big home run in extra innings, maybe I'll just have the offensive meeting a little sooner because I like that.
Okay. Matt.
Yeah, Jay, you come into these games after we just been mesmerized by Skeens and Louder, and it feels like Ty has kind of just flown by, but this is 2 performances now against really, really top-notch offenses where he's looked basically like this the entire time.
Yeah, he's there, and he's. I think it's probably just because of Paul. You know what I mean, and Paul being so out of this world good. Nobody's really paid attention to him, but the pro people are. He's not gonna last very long on that draft board, and somebody will be very, very happy with Ty Floyd, and I think he'll pitch for a very long time. And like I mentioned with a couple other of the pitchers in the game on Thursday night, there's a chance for it to be a short arc from Omaha to, a big league stadium for him.
Glenn.
Coach Glenn Westco, 247. Have you ever seen a story that's kind of quite like Cade's? Just in terms of being from, the New Orleans area and here for 5 years and to be just coming up in these big clutch moments, just, I guess, talk about, just that perspective a little bit.
Yeah, I'm really proud of him. I think, you know, I mentioned this earlier, and he's had a great tournament, and so we've talked about him a lot. That he didn't have a very good 2021 season, and we needed to shift some things. But you know, my first impressions were him, where he was all about the team. All he wanted to do was be a great player for LSU. He's never mentioned pro baseball one time. It's just, what can I do to help? Whether that's leadership, fix my swing, improve my approach, maybe be able to play some first base. And then he wasn't playing at the beginning of the season because Tommy hurt his shoulder, and so we had to shift the DH position around. And I just kind of had a feeling we would get to our best team. He would be a part of that, and then that was really, really clear. And he never wavered, in any of that. And I tell people all the time, like, him going down last year, that hurt our team dramatically. And I think, if you're paying attention to the College World Series, you can clearly see why.
Okay, Michael.
Obviously, we talked about Kay, but Gavin as well. Just the veteran presence on this team and its ability to see the moment and then stay in it.
Yeah, I think, you have to have two things you have to have a little more than two things, but you have to have two things to get here and to win here. You have to have future Major League players. That's clear now. Like, nobody is getting here anymore without future Major League players. And you have to have old players that really know what they're doing. And those two guys really know what they're doing. And, the buy-in piece of it to just a new deal. They've made this, for me as a new coach. Like, those two guys have made this situation, program, culture, they're as important as anybody. They don't get talked about the same way, because, you got Dylan, you got Paul, and those guys should be talked about too, because they're leaders and they're special talents. But, when it was 2-0, it's like, okay, yeah, we know who drove in the first 2 runs today, and they're sitting right in that spot in the order for a reason, because I know what I'm going to get in terms of those at-bats.
We have time for one more question for Jay. Matt's hands up.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask about the catch with Josh, because we saw it the other night with Trey. Like, those are game deciders. I mean, we think about clutchness with pitching and hitting. What do you make of the elite defensive plays you guys have made that have changed games tonight?
Yeah, I think our team is super locked in. I've mentioned this before. Mark Wanaka, who positions our defense, is as good at that as anybody in baseball. Not college baseball, is in baseball. And that's a tough one, and you're chewing on the matchup. Do you bring somebody in for Langford? I mean, he's hitting 390, but I think I'll go with the guy that's pitched here now 6 times. It's just been filling up the zone, and he got the ball down just enough where he couldn't elevate it. And he got it just, either in or off the barrel enough. I can't remember at this point. And Josh was standing where he needed to be, broke back, and made a heck of a play. And he's a good defender. I had somebody ask me, it's like, hey, are you going to kind of keep going with him? He's maybe not swung the bat as well as some other guys here. And it's like, it's not even a thought, because I know he's going to walk, he's going to move the offense, and he's going to play great defense in left field. And that was probably the defensive play of the game tonight.